Beautiful. So here we are. It is the September 2nd, and it feels really good to be back. I had a couple of weeks off. This is the Enriching Gifts Education Call. We have Ron Schneider here with us tonight. And Ron, I just want to say, man, I got a super exciting story to share with you. As you know, my son married his sweetheart this last weekend, and we had some amazing times together. And in that, my son, last Wednesday, he was complaining about his crusty nose and his sore throat and these things. And so what I had done is Leilani had gotten some spray bottles, some really cool spray bottles that spray a really nice mist. And so we filled it up with some colloidal. You know, we did the parts and colloidal silver and water. And both of us, since Wednesday, were just spraying in our nose, in our face, in the car, everywhere we were going, we were just colloidal silver. And, you know, within hours, Ron, he could tell a difference. Actually, I would say minutes, but I know at least within an hour, his throat, and he did not have an issue. And he kept it going, and it was just like amazing because he was contemplating like going to the doctor's type of thing. And so I just want to share that with you because the wedding went off without a hitch. It was amazing, and the fact that he was not feeling very well to begin with, and then we shot a few doses of colloidal silver down his throat, and he was good to go. So I wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that's what I've been telling everyone for the last 30 years. You know, the best way to prevent a cold is to get to it within the first day, 24 hours, 12 hours of feeling the symptoms. Otherwise, once it gets in the bloodstream, it's really, really hard, and it's going to take a stronger antibiotic. And colloidal silver might lessen the time when you have a cold, but it's not going to prevent it or get rid of it. But if you use that, and like you said, now you talked about the ratio of water to colloidal silver, and you used what, 4 parts water to 1 part silver, to 1 cap silver?
Correct.
What was your ratio you used? Yeah. Because I always tell everybody,
that was
3
correct.
to 1 or 4 to 1. Yeah. And spray it, nice fine mist. You can spray it in your eyes, you can spray it in your ears, you can spray it in your mouth. Actually, I'd encourage people to deep throat gargle it. If you've got a really bad sore throat way in the back of your throat, just take that 4 ounces of water, put a cap full of silver in it, stir it around, make sure it's in a glass, not plastic, and warm it up a little bit if you can, to where it's just warm like a warm cup of tea, not hot coffee, but a warm cup of tea. And then just deep throat gargle until you can no longer hold it up there and swallow it. Don't try to spit it out. But just keep it up there like, 45 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, however long you can swish it around and gargle in your mouth. And you use the entire 4 ounces until it's gone. And usually, you mentioned an hour, I tell people, usually within 2 to 4 hours, you're going to see a significant difference. It's no longer sore. And by the next time you wake up 12 hours later, or at the end of the day, it's gone. You never do catch a cold. And like I keep telling people, it's been April 23rd, 1984. Think about that. 1984. That's over 35, 36 years ago since I've had a cold. And last time I went to the doctor 3 years ago, they had to look up way back, way beyond 30 years. I hadn't even been to a doctor in over 30 years. And my doctor looks at me like I'm nuts. She goes, "Don't you do regular maintenance or checkup?" I said, "You bet. I have my own product line that I do that with. I don't need a doctor and drugs to do that with." And she was shocked that I'm not on any drug medications, no statins, no blood thinners, considering the heart history that I have in my genetics. So anyway, that was the thing. And I just love that testimonial, Dover, but I just can't, and I don't want to preach to anybody, but I just can't stress it enough. The common cold, this whole COVID-19 thing, and that's another thing. You notice the stock market and silver since COVID-19 came into play? Stock markets went from $15, $16 an ounce to $27 to $30 an ounce. And the biggest driving force behind that increase in the stock of silver is because now everybody's using it as an antiseptic and an antibiotic to get rid of the viruses, the COVID-19 virus. It's just literally becoming in short supply very quickly on a worldwide basis. And that's what's causing the driving of the silver market right now. So it works, it's effective, and I just wish everybody knew about it because it'll save you a whole lot of dollars going to the doctor's office and a whole lot less pain in your life. because nobody likes bronchitis, strep throat, or any of that kind of stuff. And some of that can get pretty severe. So that was really, really good. And like I said, it's been an exciting weekend because on Friday I got a call from a gal from Hawaii. I haven't talked to her. She's one of my founding members in Enriching Gifts, literally one of the first 500 people to invest in my company. And her mom has passed away from breast cancer. She has breast cancer not once but twice, and the second time that she had it, I hadn't heard from her probably 5-6 years, and I didn't know whether she was still ordering my product or if she had passed away or anything. Well, anyway, I got a call from her, and she said she no longer has her breast cancer. She no longer has lupus. She has had a lot of lupus symptoms and a lot of GI tract damage because of it. So basically, she says, I'm getting back to the point to where I'm able to work. People have been buying me through my church, your products and stuff, and I want to try to start ordering them on my own. And I said, Valerie, it took you 6-7 years to call me to say that? So anyway, I had a long talk with her and stuff, and I definitely made it affordable to where she could get back on this stuff. She says, because I know I can just feel my cancer coming back, so it's time to start doing something to get serious on a regular regimen rather than try to take pills for 1 month and then be without them for 3 or 4. And I said, yeah, you still cancer-free? And she goes, yeah, but she goes, I can feel it stirring again, so I need to get serious and get back on this stuff. So that was one. And then I had 2 people on Saturday both call me. One was a gal from Hawaii, and she buys the product and gave it to this elderly lady. I think she's 73 or 74. She's a big, huge donator of her time, volunteering for the church there in Hawaii, and she was terminal. They even stopped treatment. There was nothing they could do. They just expected with her age, so she's so far advanced that she would just die. Well, she wasn't even on her products 3 months, and she's cancer-free. They called me and just told me the doctors are plumb dumbfounded, befuddled. They don't know how this even happened. And then there was another gal from Tennessee. She had struggled with breast cancer on and off before. She's in her late 60s, and she called me and told me, she goes, yep, the last 2 years, nothing. I haven't had a sniffle, a cold. My cancer's gone. I feel great. And then on Sunday, and that was a very spiritual day for me, not just because it's Sunday and, I take time out for my relationship with the Lord, but I hadn't heard from this gal. And last time I talked to her, she reminded me of Helen Jackson Gibb. And for people that have been on these calls for the last 20 years, you've heard me refer to Helen Jackson Gibb on and off. Her husband was an oncologist down in North Carolina. And she had sent me a photo. She's standing beside her casket. She literally bought a casket because her lung cancer came back 3 different times. And she said the third time, I'm just going to go to the grave. I'm done. I'm not going to go through the chemo. I'm not going to go. And her husband's the head of oncology at the big hospital there in North Carolina. And she goes, nope, we're done. I just said my goodbyes, and here's my casket, and here's my goodbye photo to everybody. And when I talked to her, I could barely even hear her. And she said she was screaming, but all I could hear was a faint whisper. And that's exactly what Pat's Barry's voice sounded just like as well. I could barely even hear her 5-6 years ago. And she called me back and she goes, no, my son came into an investment. We bought a whole bunch of product about 3 years ago, and I need to call and get some more. And she said, I am completely cancer-free. And she goes, I am just so thankful to you, your products, and all the years that I've been on this stuff. Because, I've got five different doctors that are in my case, and not a one of them can even believe I'm still here. Not one. And she goes, now I'm cancer-free. So, yeah, there was 4 people in just 4 days, all with cancer issues, breast cancer issues, all of them. So that's pretty amazing. And like I say, I just can't get this out to the world fast enough, but yet I don't want to have the whole world come piling up on me all at once because I couldn't afford to do that. And I've seen more companies grow their way right out of business too fast. So, but it's fascinating. And, we need to start sharing more of this stuff because this has been ongoing now for all 30 years of my entire career, just different parts of the world. There's thousands of people. with those kind of stories. And everybody asks me, well, what makes yours so much different than anybody else's out there? And the single consistent answer I always give is it works. It does exactly what I say it's going to do, because we put over $40 million into clinical trials, scientific research, and testing. And it does the exact same thing no matter whose body you put it in every single time. So that's the neat thing. We have that kind of a consistent record. And yet the sad thing is so many people have never even heard of me. And I just had a group of people that were out of California call me on Friday looking to partner up and try to find somebody to private label with me because they really want to market my products. They've been both. They're not husband and wife, but they own a business together, and they're big, huge marketers in the network marketing industry. And so I referred them to a network marketing program. They didn't really like our referral program. Wasn't enough money for them. But they really want to market our products. And they said, man, we've never seen anything like this. Both me and my partner and everybody that we've actually had, we bought cases of it, send it out and tried it on about 16, 17 people. Every single person within 30 days has had a huge difference in their health, whether it's energy, whether it's clarity of thinking, whether it's diminishment of the disease and pain, inflammation, all that stuff. And I said, yeah, it works. And that's what makes me different than everybody else. Everybody else wants to jump up and down and claim it'll work in 2 weeks, 30 days, whatever. And that's not my company. And that's not my pitch. It takes you months to really capture and regain your health, if not years. And that's because of the way the body functions. It just doesn't turn itself over in 30 days. Some of the fastest growing cells in the entire human body are red blood cells, and they only replace themselves once in their entirety every 4 months. And then you look at bone tissue, nerve tissue, brain tissue. Bone tissue alone takes 7 years to completely replace every single cell in the human body, bone tissue, one time. 7 years. So all these promises with rheumatoid, and that's another one. I just took product out again today to a welder here locally in my home community, and his name is Greg. And, at first I just gave him some stuff, said, here's 3 months supply. If it works, then you're going to have to start buying it. If it doesn't, you're not out of any money. And he literally was thinking of selling his welding business because he could no longer have the use of his hands. He was in severe pain all the time, and it was rheumatoid arthritis, so his fingers were starting to disfigure and curve and stuff. And gave him that, and his wife is a nurse right here at our local hospital, Holy Rosary Hospital, and she's one of the head nurses out there for the number one doctor out there, Dr. Young. And he just refuses to do the drug thing. He tried it, just made him worse off with the side effects than it did for the condition. And anyway, he's been doing this now for 3.5 months, completely no pain, no inflammation. His fingers have straightened out, his strength coming back, his ability to flex and make a fist, all has come back 100%. So again, now he's all excited and wants to kind of get involved and refer his brother, who's a health nut, knows about as much about the body, he claims, as I do, and he's older than I am by a couple of years. So he says, yeah, I really want you to talk to this guy because he's got millions and millions of dollars, and he wants to get in the health field. He is in the health field. He's a health nut, and but he's not going to listen to me. I said, yeah, I know how family goes, so don't worry about it. It's the same thing with Christ. He was not known as anything special. He's just a carpenter in his hometown. So he was never accepted as a Messiah. But anyway, so that's kind of what I had for today. Really didn't have anything, and I don't want to go beat the COVID-19 to death. But I will warn you about one thing that is coming to light now out on the internet, but I've known about this for literally probably 10, 12 years now. But now it's starting to come out there and show up in some of the scientific reporting from these different hospitals as they develop the vaccination. Be very, very careful with this new vaccine coming out, because I don't know if you've heard of the term humanism 2.0. It's artificial intelligence, where they literally place proteins in your body. They're going to change your genetics and manipulate it with a patented protein. So now they're going to own the rights to do with your body whatever they want, because you've actually got a patented substance that they're injecting into your body through this COVID-19 vaccination program. And it's causing altered DNA as your body and your cells replicate in response to that protein that's now in your body. And that protein is a nanotechnology. It's like a little programming that's designed to reprogram your genetics, your DNA, all of it. So be really, really careful and cautious with this whole COVID-19, this big miracle vaccination they're coming out with. So anyways, I just want to give everybody a heads up on that. And that's no conspiracy theory or any kind of crap like that. This is real. This has been going on for the last decade. And that's why when Will Smith came out with that movie about the artificial intelligence guy taking over and this and that, Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hollywood just doesn't come up with these ideas. There's initial theories and things that scientists pop out, and then Hollywood runs with it. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Like the transporter, where you can literally beam me up, Scotty, and transport the molecules of the human body to somewhere else and some other destination. You can do that with fruits. I actually saw a guy do it, transport a banana from one room to the next. Also had a machine that changed the frequency, which actually opens up a whole different, what the heck's the word he used? Anyway, he had a orange suspended by a little string on a thread, and he had this machine just changes the frequency and energy, and you can literally watch that orange just disappear right in front of your eyes. And the minute he hit the power to that frequency machine where it shut off, it instantly appeared at the end of that string. I saw that firsthand myself. So there's some technology out here that a whole bunch of people are not even aware of. But I'm telling you, this whole artificial humanism 2.0, this is very real, and Bill Gates is involved with it. All the very wealthy elites are involved with it, and it's not a conspiracy theory. It is real, and it's at our doorsteps now, not 25 or 20 years from now. And they're going to try to push this into the human race out here with this COVID-19 vaccination. Moderna is the company that actually has the proteins and stuff all ready to go as soon as the vaccine's developed and approved. And if you remember watching Donald Trump, where did the government invest their big money in? Moderna. There's a reason why out of all the drug companies out there, why Moderna was selected. And I don't know if Donald Trump knows what he's getting himself into or knows about this or not. Probably not, but I know Fauci, the big doctor on the Democratic, I know he's the head of it. He knows all about it. He's known about it for over 15 years. They just haven't perfected it until recently. And now they have the vehicle to transport it, the COVID-19 outbreak. So that's all I want to say. Yep.
That's all you want to say. Great. No, that's great stuff. And you're right. It's not conspiracy. And to me, conspiracy theory is what end of the spectrum. So on one end, it's conspiracy. On the other end, it's strategy for whatever. Take that for whatever it's worth. But
right.
So what do we? I mean, it's kind of. I know it's not doom and gloom. I truly believe that. However,
So what do you do? Well, you have to protect yourself from this virus. That you do. It's a mutated.
Yes.
It's a genetically engineered virus that's meant to destroy a percentage of the population worldwide. Whether China releases it, whether Bill Gates releases it, whether whoever releases it, they are out to reduce the population of the planet. We just can't handle this growth or sustain where we're at. Everybody knows that. You got plastic, literally breathing in plastic now from so much pollution in the ocean, and that salt water is oxidizing. It literally takes decades, if not 100 years, but it's up there now. Sierra Club now, you can measure plastic in the air that a human being breathes. Because of all of the breaking down of the pollution of the oceans, it's all decomposing so small that it can actually go up into a cloud through the vaporization process, through condensation. And now it's just raining all over the earth. Any country in the world, you can measure plastic in the air a person breathes. It's about the size of a red blood cell. It's about 3 to 4 microns big, and a red blood cell 6 microns, 4 to 6. So it's airborne. You can breathe it in, and there's going to be all kinds of diseases. They've already warned us about this 2 years ago when it was discovered. And I don't even think anybody's even bothered to watch that documentary by the Sierra Club. This is all documented. This is all scientific backed and proven. And yet you don't hear a single word about it anywhere, not even on the great Green New Deal side, where the climate change and this and that. But nobody has ever talked about this other than the Sierra Club. And I only saw one documentary. It was about an hour and a half long. And this is the next big, huge thing coming, is a respiratory disease. And everybody eventually will have it. Because the immune system cannot break down plastic. And that's why it takes literally hundreds of years to decompose, even in salt water. And then somebody called me today, said, oh, there's a scientist. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to, I mean, because this is heavy stuff, and I'm just thinking back, and maybe some of the listeners on the call tonight, you know, I had pneumonia, I had bronchitis, and I've never had it in my life, you know, a year ago, as you know, before I went on the cruise. And I've had that same mindset that, you know what, we're all going to get COVID, or we'll all have this, whatever it is, at some point. It's just how well we build up our immune systems to battle it. So if I'm hearing you correctly, yes, the COVID is real. Yes, it mutates, but we have to protect ourselves against the virus. So, with that being said, is there anything? Well, I don't know that that's valid. Can Steromax, colloidal silver, enzymes, probiotics, etc., as we use the remedy or a protocol to strengthen our immune system, is that going to protect us from whatever mutation this could possibly turn into, the COVID? Do you understand where I'm going with that?
Well, the immune system, I don't know. To give you an extremely honest answer, I don't know yet, because that protein, as far as I know, all of the stuff that's out there and exposes you to, it doesn't talk about how the immune system and the enzymatic activity of the immune system interacts with that patented protein. So normally, if there's a protein, but again, it's a synthetic, and it's a protein. So on a scientific level, any kind of protein can be actually broken down enzymatically, and that's the way your immune system breaks down and dissolves all the different proteins that make up bacteria, viruses, fungus, molds, this, that, things that would potentially harm your body. Your immune system, one or various cells, are always going to come to your rescue and save you and let you live another day. And if you have a strong enough immune system, it'll actually even protect you and prevent it, so you have a great quality of life of living every day. So, but the honest answer is, I don't know, because they just not enough people are aware of this yet. Even the conspiracy theory side, the people who want to expose all this stuff, nobody's done any testing that I know of. And I was just going to say earlier, there was a call that I had this morning. Somebody out in Nebraska says, "Oh yeah, they've heard about this, but there's this doctor that claims he has a product that will actually break down that plastic." And I said, no, he won't. The oceans can't even break it down. That's one of the most oxidizing elements anywhere on the planet Earth. It literally takes them hundreds of years. Enzymes won't break down plastic. I don't know of an enzyme, industrial or human-wise, that'll break down plastic. So that's the way your immune system works. So I don't know about the plastic and the air pollution as far as that goes, and this other new COVID-19 protein where they're trying to genetically engineer or re-engineer and completely change the basic genetics of the human body to get you more into like a superhuman, like an android. That's really what this is all about, and it gives them ability to, when it takes hold and starts replicating in your cells, you also have this signaling pathway where they can track you from satellites anywhere in the world. And like this doctor says, watch The Matrix. If you've never watched that movie, The Matrix, she goes, it's not in the future. It's here today. It's right at our doorsteps, less than 6 months away. When this vaccine comes out, they've already got all the genetic components that's going to go in that vaccine. It's already done. It's already developed. They just need the delivery system. And like I said, Moderna is the one company that's got all of this. That she named him by name. She goes, virtually any company that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is involved in, and they're involved in 5, 6 different pharmaceutical companies, but any one of those will actually have it, because Bill Gates is one of the biggest money funders for that whole research and development of that thing. And like I said, they just don't know enough about it yet to say whether your immune system, but that part of it would make sense. But this whole genetic mutation and everything, what I was starting to say earlier, they're going to be able to track you from outer space through a satellite. No matter how far underground you can go, you could be 100 feet underground and they could still detect where you're at. They can measure your temperature, your heartbeat. They could actually stop your heart. So if you get too far out of line, boom, they just stop your heart and you're dead. That's what this is all leading up to. It's like a controlled world. And, the powerful and the rich, they're the haves, and the rest of us, well, we're disposable. And I hate to scare the hell out of everybody, but that's what this call is about. It's about education. It's about you understanding what's out there in the world that can harm you. And this is all stuff that I just kind of come across in the last couple of weeks, except for the plastic. I've known about that for several years, but now they've got enough testing and that whole Sierra Club documentation came out and stuff. And that'll be global. That'll be global before 2025. The next 4 or 5 years, you'll see a huge uptake in respiratory problems as the plastic buildup in the lungs. It's going to be the cause of it.
Hey, Ron, and I hate to dominate the call, but it's like you're speaking and I'm receiving. I don't know what it is, but lately, and if Leilani was listening to me right now, she'd probably smack me and say, "I told you so." But I've, drinking bottled water, I know it's not good for you. I mean, we have all the latest, greatest filters and this, that, and the other, and I understand all that stuff, and yet I still drink a bottle, bottled water from
bottled
Costco.
Water, right.
And now I can taste it. I can actually taste the chemical, if you will. Is that like, okay?
Yeah, you can taste the petroleum. That's molecules getting into your system. That's plastic molecules. It tastes like a kind of like a plasticky, but it's kind of petroleum based. You can just taste the plastic. It's not a.
And I never really noticed it. Yeah, I never really noticed it until I've been working, I work in the construction industry and I'm exposed to a lot of epoxy and polyurea and different types of resins and chemicals. Yeah. And so that smell and that taste and now I'm drinking water and I taste it and it's just like, wow. But yeah, exactly what you're describing.
Yeah. So much for the old storage, prepper, let's stock up on the water tanks, fill up 500 gallons or 1,000 gallons. Well, you can do that, but you have to have a glass lining. And that's why if you feel the colloidal silver bottle, it's pretty stiff compared to the old bottles we used to have, because there's a microfilm of glass inside of that plastic bottle. And that's what seals the silver away from the pores of the plastic. And I've never really talked about much of the packaging and some of the technology we have there in the colloidal silver bottles. But that's why, everybody else you're talking about it, they have them in glass. Well, even though it's plastic on the outside, it's stiff, so it doesn't bend like most plastic bottles. But that's because it's got a real fine glass liner on the inside. And that's what preserves the silver from embedding itself into that plastic bottle. And I guess I really haven't talked that much about our packaging and stuff.
Ron, I've known you over 15 years, and I've never heard that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to keep putting out there everything we're doing, because there's other people out there in the network marketing and other marketing companies. They don't even do what they say they're doing. They just hear me talk about it. Oh, wow, that sounds good. We got to start talking about that in our product. And yet, they've got a plastic bottle. They don't have any microfilm glass in it or anything else. They haven't changed anything. They just are so quick to run with a great story that brings about sales and success, and their products don't even come close. Formulas can't even do what this does. And that's been my experience. That's why I no longer private label as of 2000. I just gave up a huge multi tens of millions of dollars every year business, because I was so sick and tired of hearing all the crap from everybody. They'd want a private label. I'd give them the information. I'd even write books and marketing material for them. And then they'd do one, maybe two orders, and then I'm thrown to the side, and they would just go running, oh, here's what our product does. And then it doesn't do it. And then people want to blame me because they put me out in front when they first launched the product. So, yeah, it's sad, but that's the world we live in. So I said, don't believe everything on the internet. I wouldn't even believe half of it. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. It's tough. It's a lot of work, but you're much better off in the end for it. Absolutely. So anyway, that's all I was going to talk about tonight. I wanted to share that because it's very uplifting. I mean, I like to hear the stories. And like I said, two of the four of the people that called, I didn't even know them. Valerie, I'd completely known her for a long, long time. And by the way, just so people understand who Valerie Elefante is from Hawaii, do you remember who Miss America was in 2000? Angie Baracchio Perez. Angie Baracchio is a Filipino gal. Was a second grade school teacher over in Aiea, Hawaii. And Valerie and her were in the same school. They're both teachers. So that's who Valerie Elefante is. She's the former chaperone to Miss America 2000, for people that didn't know that and want to go back on the internet and look it up. So, Angie Baracchio, and she got married. So it was Angie Baracchio Perez. And Angie's family, Tess, trying to think of the older one, Charlotte, she was on the news. They're a very professional family, very well known in Hawaii. There's news anchors, and they even had their own Sunday talk show, family, Sundays with the Baracchios. And there was 5 girls. So that was an interesting, real popular program over there for a lot of years. And it might even still be going. I don't know. I've left in 2001. So anyways, so that's all I had for tonight. Maybe we can open it up for questions and answers. Anybody got any questions, health questions, any comments? Anybody? Anybody got any questions, comments? Anybody?
Yeah. Hi, Ron.
Yeah.
Hi, it's John from the UK here.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. It's a bit of a shot in the dark.
Okay.
We have a close friend who has stage 4 ovarian cancer, and
okay.
She seems to be shutting down, eating very soft diet now, and mainly on a drip. Would do you think? I'm not asking for promises or anything. It's just. Do you think it's too late?
Well, I know what you're saying. Do you think we could help her? Absolutely. What did you say about the gal from Hawaii? She's a 74-year-old woman, stage 4 breast cancer, had no hope. They stopped treating her, go home and die. 3 months later, she's cancer-free. Can I say that for everybody? Hell no. But I can tell you I'm out to save 85% of the world. I can't save 100%, but I know I can save at least 85 to 90%. And your only way you're going to know is if you try it. And I don't know, like I always tell people, what's a life worth to you? Worth a few $100, maybe in a couple thousand to most people? Yeah. The first thing I would ask is ovarian cancer. Did she have her ovaries removed? Have they done a hysterectomy?
They've removed ovaries and some other part of her. What else have they removed? Yeah, something like that.
Right. But they haven't done a full hysterectomy.
I don't believe so.
So it was a puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing. If you've got ovarian cancer, I would really recommend to just do a full hysterectomy. It's like a woman having a full mastectomy that has breast cancer. Like I say, what's your life worth to you? Is it worth having beautiful natural boobs, or you just get it all cut off and then have prosthetics and some plastic surgery done? Can't really tell the difference in the long run. Just a little bit more expensive. But, and then also there's been a lot of women that have had 4-stage breast cancer. That's what their recommendation by their doctor. Shannon Knight's one of those people. I mean, I could start name dropping. I shouldn't do that because I don't have their permission, but these are people I work directly with. And she had breast cancer come back 1, 2, 3 times. And I said, Shannon, when are you going to quit screwing around and playing Russian roulette with your life? You just don't understand. The minute you go off this stuff, your body goes right back to functioning the way it used to function. Guess what? What did it get you when it used to function the way it did? Cancer. Well, why do you think it's not going to come back? Of course it is. You just don't get it. This is nutrients you can't find in a basic food source. And it's nutrients at a high concentration your body needs in order to fight off of this stuff because of poor genetics or genetic inherited factors. You can do this, but it takes work and it takes consistency. And it's not something you can just start to cure your cancer and then go back to the old way of living. That ain't going to work. Your body doesn't change genetically. It's just a matter of time before that cancer come back and going to kill you or raise havoc in your life one more time.
Mm-hmm. How close are we to getting sterols back? And
we're close. I thought they were going to ship today. They're pretty sure that it'll ship tomorrow. So I should have it probably in by next Wednesday, Thursday. I thought for sure I was going to have it here by Friday. That's why we came back from the lake literally yesterday so that we could pick up our product, unload it, and get everything unloaded Thursday and ship everything out Friday before the Labor Day weekend. But it's not. It's just COVID just keeps putting us behind.
Sure.
And it's just our vitamins, it was supposed to be here already in July. Now it's not coming until the 27th or the 29th of this month. So it'll be right around the first part of October before we're able to ship out our vitamins. And that's been on order since March. And why is that taking us so long? Well, because COVID-19. There's still ports, there's still transportation that's very limited, and even ports that re-shut down, they reclose because of the outbreaks and the upticks and stuff of that COVID-19. So it's been extremely hard, and that vitamin has so many ingredients in it. It's just you're short one ingredient holds up the whole formula because you have to match and be able to support your label claim. So that's been a problem. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe reformulating it, and then I hate to even touch it because it does wonders for people. People just love that product. Gives them energy, and really takes care of a lot of stuff, headaches and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, that's the 2 products that we're out of and have been out of for a long time. But it looks like they'll both be in stock before this month. And like I said, I'm really hoping that I have Steromax sitting here in my driveway at our receiving warehouse by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm really hoping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's a big one.
Yeah. And just, I'm I know I value your time greatly, but could I run you, once I speak to Lorraine, my partner, tomorrow, because we've just had to organize the hospice, could I run you an email or something just with some because Lorraine has more of the details. Obviously, I don't.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, the best thing to do is just get on the phone with me because I'm really, really busy. I'm running around. We got Labor Day weekend coming up. I got to go to Billings. I got to pick up a skid steer tomorrow. I got to empty out my motorhome, the waste that's been sitting in that motorhome since last October. I'm just got 2 days, 3 days to catch up on everything here, and I got a lot of catching up to do. So the best thing to do is just give me a phone call because I'm not going to be anywhere near a computer for at least probably till next Wednesday.
Okay, so maybe I'll just with the time difference and everything, if I could, I'll speak to Lorraine tomorrow in the morning our time, and then if I could try and hook up with you, I'll keep trying if I don't get you, but if I could hook up with you, try and get you maybe tomorrow evening.
Yep, that'll work. Yeah.
Okay. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and if you have a smartphone, just send me a text and let me know you're going to be calling in the next 10, 15 minutes, and I'll try to make time with whatever I got going at the moment. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
All of us
Anybody
online
else
can
have
tell you that Ron will make himself available. I've heard of him picking up at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning at times. So that is something that he does. I've been trying to work on getting him not to do that, but that's who he is. So I appreciate your conversation with him and being candid. And that's why I'm here, honestly, everybody. Ron's been so consistent. I don't think that I've ever met a more consistent individual in my life who's passionate and concerned about the value of all of our health. So, yeah. So I just want to share that, Ron.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I leave my phone on 24 hours a day. All I say is if it's an emergency and truly something that's really significant, important, time is never going to be a value of mine. I never will ever not answer a phone call. That's why I answer my phone. And my wife, it drives her nuts. We'll be out to supper sometime at Christmas or an anniversary or some significant day in our life. We really don't have time to enjoy much of those. But I will even pick up the phone, get away from the table, walk outside, and have a phone conversation. And when I get back in, my ears start to turn red from her chewing my ass. But like I told her, I said, sweetie, you just don't understand. I've been doing this for over 35 years. And I already know that when that phone rings, there's a good chance somebody's life is in the balance. And I'm not going to be the reason why somebody doesn't get what they need and they unfortunately pass away. I'm not going to be that guy. And too many people that want to claim they're all out there for people and their health and this and that, they would never do what I do. They got secretaries in front of them. They got office hours. Nobody does what I do. But this is my passion and this is my commitment in life. And I take that commitment very, very seriously, like you just said, Dover. So, that being said, anybody else have any last-minute questions? Any comments? Anybody? Real quick? No? Well, I guess that you can go ahead and close it out, Dover, with whatever you have to contribute or say in the final minute.
Sure. No, I appreciate this, and I just want to give everyone a heads up here. And as we're winding down, the summer and going into the fall and all that comes with that, Ron is we're going to get together and we're going to create some content. And so some of these issues, these challenges that all of us, many of us are dealing with, we're going to have material, if you will, so that you don't have to necessarily wait for a Wednesday night call. And it might not even be Wednesday in the UK, but whatever time it is in your region on this time, we're going to have material so that we can educate the masses, because that's really Ron's passion, getting this out there. More importantly, what you shared tonight, Ron, and the success, and I didn't mention this to you, but we absolutely did gargle with the colloidal silver. And that was a very big contributing factor, I know, now hearing from you. Mm-hmm. So there's just a lot of great stuff that we talk about on these calls, and it's really about all of us. If Ron shows up every week with no one on the phone, I feel like it's a waste. And so reach out to someone, share this information, even if it's to contradict him. And it's not about having a debate on these calls. However, I know Ron well enough to know that he would welcome anyone's point of view. And have a adult, mature conversation, and come to a meeting of the minds where it's based on fact, and that's what Ron stands on. So, I appreciate you, Ron. I'm speaking for all of us, I know, and we'll be here next week. And I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you.
Yep, thank you. And I just want to wish everybody a great, safe Labor Day weekend. Go out and enjoy yourself. Summer's winding down. It's definitely getting cold here. Our high for Monday is only 63 degrees in Montana. So it's winter's right around the corner. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Right. Take care. Thank you, Ron.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.